The Tigers are going to the playoffs. It really happened. Oh my goodness. Welcome one. There it is. Welcome all. The Tigers are going to the playoffs. Woo! All right. I promise we won't party as much as the Tigers are going to in the clubhouse or that they are right now. Welcome one. Welcome all. It's a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I've got the cigar ready to go. That's for after the show, but it is happening. The Detroit Tigers are going to the playoffs. My name is Jake Riepma. I am your host. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. And the Tigers, in the most improbable way, are going to the postseason. They clinch it with the win over the Chicago White Sox. Welcome in to a live Locked On Tigers postcast. As always, we thank you for making this your post-game destination. And tonight, it's a post-game party. We are going to party because the Tigers have clinched. That's right. Thanks for making us your first listen, free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every single day. And the Locked On Tigers postcast is celebrating a Detroit Tigers postseason berth for the first time since 2014. That's right, 10 years this has been in the making, and AJ Hinch and the young gritty Tigers get it done. Hey, today's episode is also brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. And oh, by the way, get the Booking.com app today as well and start making those playoff reservations because the Tigers are going to the playoffs. Final from Comerica Park. 4-1, and you know what? The White Sox are going to White Sox a little bit in this one. Couple of wild pitches, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. It wasn't a collection of the Tigers' best at-bats by any means, but they got it done, and the winning just continues. The hottest team in baseball, they continue just to win and win and win. We're going to get to all the comments because think of all the Locked On Tigers postcasts we suffered through the months of June and July. This team was left for dead. Hand up. I didn't believe. I think if we're all being honest, you didn't believe. The fact of the matter is this Tigers team overcame some of the most improbable odds. They had a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs. And you know what? In August, this team became the best team in baseball. They sold at the deadline and they still found a way. And I see some of the comments. I think we're all thinking it. Why not us? You got an invite to the party. Why not the Detroit Tigers? Let's just go. Why not? Why stop now? Let's just keep on going. 2 more games in the regular season. Then it's time for the playoffs. And there's still some crazy things that could happen. And I don't think Minnesota is going to hold up their end of the bargain. But if Minnesota were to sweep the Baltimore Orioles and we continue the sweep over the White Sox, the Tigers would host a playoff game at Comerica Park, but I don't think that's going to happen. So there is a chance that the Tigers can continue to stay in front of the Kansas City Royals and then be matched up against the Baltimore Orioles, who you've just taken 4 of 6 from, or they will be against the Houston Astros, which we know the storyline there with AJ Hinch. But in any case, the Tigers are going to the playoffs. I'm just going to keep saying that because those are words I did not think I would ever utter, especially this season, based on the way things had gone. But if you missed it at the beginning, we've got the cigar out ready to go. We're not going to light it until after the show. My champagne is somewhere. We popped it as soon as we began the live Locked On Tigers postcast because this is what it's all about. This is a moment. It's going to be a where were you when type of moment. We are going to remember this moment, remember this storybook season, couple of months, really. I don't even want to say storybook season because really since August, since the trade deadline, and even go back even further, since the series not in Chicago against the Cubs, but in Chicago against the White Sox when this thing all turned around. But we've got over 100 people watching. We've got a ton of comments to get to. The Tigers beat the White Sox, and they are partying in the clubhouse as we speak. I've got the post game up to my left, so if you see me glancing over here and there, I'm just checking out who's spraying the champagne and smoking the cigars. And Andy Dirks before the game had his ski goggles on because he didn't want to, he wanted to practice how you play or play how you practice, whatever the saying is, and was getting ready for the champagne bath and the party in the clubhouse afterwards. So the Tigers, I can't even believe it. We're going to have postseason baseball for this Detroit Tigers team. But lots of comments to get into. Let's have your voice be heard. And if you're new around here, here's how it works. It is the live Locked On Tigers postcast. It's a collaborative community where you can have your voice heard. Just let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and let's get after it because this Tigers team has made us proud in so many ways. It's the best story in baseball. There is no doubt about it. All right, Jason Walter is first up. Let's just go out there and win the whole dang thing. Absolutely. Rufus Elgato de Baseball prediction World Series 2024. Tigers versus Padres. Okay, there you go. I don't hate that prediction. Not one bit. Jason Walter, why not us? Curtis Seibert Jr., LFG. That's right. Detroit Sports Talk. This team is going to be scary in October. If I was the other teams, I would be scared as HE double hockey sticks. Go Tigers. I would too. I think that collectively around Major League Baseball in the American League, there is not a team that wants to play the Detroit Tigers. The hottest team in baseball, best pitching staff in baseball, doing enough offensively to just be those gritty Tigers that continue to get it done. I'm watching the celebration in the clubhouse, just incredible stuff. They are October ready. That's what the shirts say, October ready. Great stuff. Detroit Sports Talk says, I'm crying right now. I'm going to try not to cry. And I apologize. We're on a little bit later, not immediately following the final out because I selfishly wanted to watch a little bit of the celebration, hear some of the interviews, but here we are. Demetrius McNeil, 24 hours removed from sweeping the Rays, capturing the game one in the postseason. Unbelievable. The Heels from 10 games back in August 10th. That's right. 10 games back. Incredible. KLE Shreen, the Tigers won again. The Tigers won again. I can't even sing like that, but you got to love it. Word Vango, my man. Awesome. Our team. That's right. Our team. There's so much to be proud of with this team. The Detroit Tigers have brought pride and joy to the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, the region. I was talking to some Tiger fans from Toledo. It's not just state borders. This team has endeared themselves to such a large population. And why not? The best story in baseball. I can't wait for the 30 for 30 that's going to come out on it. Gareth Ridings, he's been with us all season. An amazing season for the Tigers, and it's not done yet. I will add that, Garrett. It is not done yet. Dennis says, go Tigers. Absolutely. YouTube user, he's a regular. Tigers winning streak is actually more impressive than the 35-5 start in 1984. I think you're probably, there is an argument to be made about that. Starting a season 35-5 has never been done before, but the Tigers, what they've done is going to go down in the history books as one of the most incredible and improbable runs. There is no doubt about it. Wern, got to credit the Twins collapse for this to happen. Let's go Tigers. Bring on Judge and then Ohtani. Yeah, baseball is a game of luck. There is no doubt about that. You need some help from your friends for this to happen, and the Twins certainly gagged it away. And as hot as the Tigers have been, it does take a little bit of help. But I think the Tigers deserve the most credit for just winning, just stacking wins, win after win after win. And then it helps that the Twins were stacking losses. So needed a lot of things to go right. That's for sure. Skyway Bridge 941, bring on the Yankees. There you go. Matt Wood, I'm going to tomorrow's game. Can't wait. Let the Tigers fever just spill over because this is incredible. This is what we hope for. And I cannot believe And we talked about this a couple days ago. Announcers' crutches, their crutch phrases, and one of them is unbelievable. But this truly has a feeling of it being unbelievable. Jason Benetti, Andy Dirks, Dan Petrie on the call today were incredible. They've just perfectly narrated this incredible journey. Dan Dickerson, I caught some of the radio call as well. We are just so blessed in the city of Detroit to have some of the all-time greatest, most iconic announcers to bring us all the action. If you were at Comerica Park, let me know, because it sounded so loud. It sounded like the energy was in the building, just so electric, a ruckus crowd. You gotta love it. There is nothing like the Motor City for sports towns. And when you have a team doing what the Tigers are doing, it's the proof is in the pudding. It's such an incredible sports town. And I envy each and every one that was at the game today, or have been at games as of late. I think the last one I went to, I saw them in Texas. I saw them against the Dodgers. But it's doing the shows. Obviously, you don't get to the game is awesome. Andrew Peters says, I can't believe this is real. Mind blown. That's exactly how I feel. This is a mind blown type of feeling. Word Vango says, sign at the game. You can't spell Tigers without grit. That's a great point. I mean, this team embodies grit. You had the Lions embracing the term grit. You have the Tigers now. The Red Wings, I saw on social media, were sending their best to the Detroit Tigers. It is just so great to be a Detroit Tigers fan. You got Righar says you just got to believe. Tiberius Gratius says this team is so fun to root for. Sundeep B, on August 10th, I watched the Tigers lose to the Giants. That's right. And then it all turned around. Lucas Breyer, what a night, no doubt. Woo, man, this is, and we're going to continue to get to some of the comments. We are way over our first time to keep the lights on, and we're going to continue to look at what this wild card playoff scenario might turn into, because I think there's an argument to be made that you feel good about going. I think the Tigers, for as well as they're playing right now, and again, you would need the Twins to win all three before you have any chance of hosting a wild card series. But bring on Baltimore. Bring it. I'm feeling so good. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Just going to continue soaking in the moment. The Tigers are going to the playoffs. Man, that feels so good to say. The Tigers are going to the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Robinhood. That's right. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5 APY and uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhoodgold.com. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Make sure I give that to you correct. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. That's robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. All right. I love following the post game, and you got Benetti, who is soaked in champagne right now. Oh, that's just incredible stuff. Interviewing Riley Greene, and I got the best support staff here on the Locked On Tigers postcast. I just got this quote from AJ Hinch. He said in the post game interview, "I asked you in the middle of the season, what kind of team do you want to be? I guess you want to be a playoff team," and sprays champagne. That's just incredible stuff. Oh man, I mean, nothing makes me happier than this Tigers team They embody everything you could want to root for as a fan. And it is just an incredible clubhouse right now. I'm watching it. I hope you got it on at home as well, because the Detroit Tigers are spraying the champagne. They're popping the drinks. I'm sure there's a lot of people smoking cigars, and my goodness, they've earned it, because this is the best team in baseball, 31-11 in 42 games since August 11th. Jeez, oh Pete's. Best 42 game stretch since 2011. Wow. 31-11 in 42 games. I mean, you just can't make it up. All right. I want to keep taking comments, but I do want to check in on the AL wild card, because if the Tigers finish in front of Kansas City, they will play Baltimore, and Kansas City, I believe, let me just confirm, Kansas City losing to the Braves, and that's a tough series to play, because the Braves are playing for their postseason lives as well. And I want to make sure this one's gone final. It has. The Braves won 3-0. So now with that, let me make sure MLB.com has updated, as we do this in real time. So the Tigers are 86-64, Royals 85-75. So that means the Tigers have a 1-game lead on the Royals for that second wild card spot instead of the 6th and final playoff spot, meaning the Tigers and Orioles would play in Baltimore, and the Astros and Royals would play in Houston. So, wow, deep breath. I'm going to try to continue to maintain composure. Right now, and keep providing some updates. It's Foley being interviewed by Jason Benetti, and he is soaked with champagne. That's just such great stuff. So I ask you, would you rather play Baltimore or go on the road? You're going to be on the road either way in all likelihood, and play the Houston Astros, which, been to that ballpark, tough place to play. Obviously, the storyline with AJ Hinch, his former team, or a team like Baltimore, who you've played quite a bit, 6 games, 3 at home and 3 on the road, and you've won 4 of 6, 2 of 3 at home and 2 of 3 on the road as well. And to continue reading the comments, and you know what? There are so many comments that I'm going to try to get to all of them, and maybe go down from the bottom, and we will try to get to every single comment, but no promises. And I appreciate this one here. I never remember to say this, but drop a like on the stream, celebrate the Tigers' victory. That's a good way to put it. Appreciate that, Jay Sinclair Rose. That's right. So appreciate if you drop a like on this video to celebrate the Tigers' postseason berth and clinching a spot in the AL wildcards. And let's continue to look at the comments. The question is, would you rather play Baltimore or Houston? And we got Tiger Town, Houston personally, Verlander rematch. Let's go. That's another great storyline. Absolutely. I was talking about the AJ Hinch one, but the Verlander rematch would be a great storyline. I'm sorry. I'm just watching the postseason celebration in the clubhouse, and AJ Hinch is getting sprayed on. Oh man, that locker has just got to be, or that clubhouse has just got to be amazing. I wish, a year ago I was in the clubhouse quite a bit for 97 won the tickets, but man, this is great. Some other highlights from the post game: Jason Benetti with Riley Greene. The beer is cold, says Jason. We always believed. I mean, just look at this, says Riley Greene. We're going to celebrate tonight as best we can. So far, so good. Riley Greene, that's incredible stuff. All right. Other comments to get to. Who would you rather play, Baltimore or Houston? The Truth says Baltimore. No experience, no starting pitching depth. I agree with that. Their starting pitching has not been the same in the second half. They've hit a rough spot for sure. All right. Isaac says, I honestly feel like we could beat both, but Houston would be more satisfying. Yeah, beating Houston would be awesome. I think we can all agree. The sticking it to the Astros and the Verlander rematch, absolutely. And I think just as a baseball fan, nobody likes Jose Altuve or some of those other guys on the Astros. All right. Oh, man, there's so many comments to get to. Sergio Alpert 66, media would love a Hinch Verlander series. I think Baltimore is easier to beat, so I would prefer the O's. I'll also say this: if the Tigers continue to play at a 31 and the way that's got them there, because I think even throughout this entire journey, we've said we've done some schedule watching. Oh, the schedule got easier as the season went on, and especially in the latter part. But this Tigers team played their game. And I think Sergio makes a good point here where this Tiger team goes out, plays their game, continue to have the best ERA. That's the recipe for winning in the postseason, obviously, is pitching. So there you go. Seth Floyd, Baltimore, to get some payback for 2015. Yes, it was 2014, but I'm with you right there. I remember watching it on my couch in college, just being so depressed that the postseason was over. All right, Fletch, Lives Daily. We playing orange no matter what. Yeah, I never thought of that, but yeah, that is a great point. All right, John Brock says, let's go Tigers. John Winter, don't care who we play because no one wants to play us right now. That's also a great point. Alan Stokes says, let's play Houston based on Yankees would be a divisional opponent and tougher than Cleveland. That's also a good point. I honestly, and maybe this is just my without the facts, which is never a good way to start a statement, but I feel like I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of the Yankees. I'm not afraid, certainly not afraid of the Guardians or any of the wild card teams. And Houston, yeah, the Houston has had a really good second half. They were 10 games out of their own division, not quite as rapidly as the Tigers made up the ground, but sometime in June, Seattle had that division with a double-digit lead. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, let's all get this straight. It's playoff baseball. The Tigers have a ticket to the party, and we are in for an incredible run to see how this all plays out. All right, we're going to keep the lights on. Don't go anywhere. Let's just keep soaking it up. We got 285 people watching. That's a shout out to each and every one of you. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. Check out some of our other post-game videos if you want to see what we're all about. This one's a little bit different, admittedly, because the Tigers just clinched a playoff spot. Normally, we break down the game. We have a collaborative discussion. We look ahead. But again, tonight's a little bit different as we pop champagne, we smoke cigars, and we get after it celebrating. Like Riley Greene said, we're going to celebrate as best we can because the Tigers are going to the playoffs for the first time since 2014. Don't go anywhere. The Locked On Tigers postcast will be back in just a moment. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah, the right stay can make all the difference. And now that the Tigers have clinched the playoff spot, it's time to start making those postseason reservations. That's right, because the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rival. So whether the Tigers are going to Houston or Baltimore and you want to make the trip, wear the Old English D, represent it proudly. That's right, no matter where you are, even in your rival's territory, book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. Get the Booking.com app as well, super easy to use, and book your destination. Explore those U.S. cities you always secretly wanted to learn more about. And with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find that perfect stay even in your baseball rival city during the postseason. So like I said, whether it's Baltimore or Houston, get the Booking.com app out and start making your reservations and represent the Detroit Tigers. Booking.com delivers exactly the right stay in the United States for you. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your baseball rivals. Booking.com, booking.yeah. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Prize Picks. That's right. Prize Picks is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. There is no doubt about it. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and voila, you watch the winnings roll on in. That's right. We got over 5 million active members on Prize Picks because it's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And it's the best way to get on the action in sports in almost most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. And don't you worry, because Prize Picks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get the money in as quick as 15 minutes. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out. If your lineup isn't perfect, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Don't take my word for it. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. This is incredible stuff, and I just appreciate each and everyone tuning in all season long. I can remember when we launched Locked On Sports Detroit and our very first Locked On Tigers postcast. It was against the Twins, ironically enough, and launching a YouTube station from scratch, very, very challenging, but appreciative, and appreciate Locked On for the opportunity. And what a season to begin. The season of destiny. We watch the postseason celebration unfolding right now. Tarek Skubal getting interviewed, the future Cy Young. He leads the American League in wins, ERA, strikeouts. Yeah, most wins by Tigers left-handed since Mickey Lolich in 1972. That's incredible stuff right there. He's going to win the Cy Young. He's going to lead this Tigers team. And, oh, man, I am just so fired up for postseason baseball. Man, it's been so long. It's been 10 plus years since postseason baseball in Detroit. And let's hope that the Tigers can do enough to get a home game at Comerica Park and continue this magical run. Because that being said, I think it's almost completely, no, top of the sixth. The Orioles lead the Twins 2-0. So unless the Twins sweep the Orioles and the Tigers sweep the White Sox, the Tigers will be going on the road in that first wild card series. But that being said, they got a ticket to the dance. Now let's see what this team can do. And I will also say this. We've been saying all season that this roster, the construction of this team, sets up for the postseason. Great pitching, a lot of utility guys, pinch hitting options. I mean, tonight was a good example. You've got a left-hander going in Crochet and no Kerry Carpenter and no Colt Keith. And there they were, just ready to pinch hit. I mean, obviously the Tigers didn't actually need to use them, but point being is this team is set up for success in the postseason, and I just can't wait. All right. A lot more comments to get to. I like this one. And Seth Floyd, so the rebuild is officially over then. Yes, I think we can say that. The rebuild is officially over. There we go. And Al Avila, I know there's been some discussion about Al Avila because he did have a lot to do with the construction of this roster. Wasn't able to see it through, obviously, but man, credit to this Tigers team. And I don't want to, I think Al Avila took a lot of heat for a lot of years, and rightfully so. But this has got to feel good for him as well. All right. Lots of stuff to get to here. Interesting question from Tiger Town. I have an interesting question for you. Would you rather have a Tigers World Series or a Lions Super Bowl? But you can only pick one. I'm taking Tigers, baby. I plead the fifth on that one. I plead the fifth. That said, I can remember going to the 2006 World Series with my grandparents in standing room only, with my late mom, with my brothers, and my cousins, and soaking it all in and watching Kenny Rogers. And that was a moment I will never, ever forget. Couldn't go in 2012 when they were at home against the Giants because I was a college football player then. If anyone wants to get to know me, and it was obviously in the middle of football season, but I was watching as much as I possibly could. All right, Fletch Lives Daily. AJ has proven that a team doesn't need 5 starters. I agree. I mean, we might see this is a revolutionary way to manage a team, and it might go down as the AJ Hinch way because it's certainly unprecedented, and it worked because the Tigers were the best team in August with 2 starting pitchers. Just incredible. Quote from the post game from Tarek Skubal, tearing up. We've been through a lot. Drafted in 2018, we lost a lot of games. I'm so happy. And then Benetti asked Skubal, who's going to hit it hardest tonight? And Skubal said, me. I don't play tomorrow. You got to love it. That's really good stuff right there. Yeah, I think there is some maybe some curiosity of what this team might look like tomorrow. But man, this is, you only get to do this once. When you, hopefully the Tigers will be doing it again. I should have said you only clinch the postseason once, and when it's been 10 years, yeah, live it up a little bit. But now, hopefully, this is the first of many clubhouse celebrations as the Tigers continue into the postseason. 2 more games in the regular season, and then we head to the postseason. The Tigers will, in all likelihood, play either Baltimore or Houston, be on the road for both. The only way that they could host and be at home at Comerica Park is if the Tigers finish off a sweep, first and foremost, on the Chicago White Sox, and the Minnesota Twins sweep the Baltimore Orioles, because right now the Tigers, technically 2.5 back because the Tigers won tonight. But if the Orioles just win 1 game, the Tigers are going on the road. All right. Thanks so much to each and every one of you that have tuned in all season. In fact, I want to do a cheers to everybody. I still got some champagne. It's cold. It's ready to go. A cigar as well. We'll get to that later tonight. I'm not going to get kicked out of the studio here. No smoking in the studio, but we're going to smoke this. And a cheers to each and every one that have watched one or every single live Locked On Tigers postcast, and to Scott Bentley on Locked On Tigers. What an incredible job he does covering this team. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for every single person that is affiliated with the Detroit Tigers, a fan of the Detroit Tigers, and anybody that represents the Old English D. This one's for you. I knew I was going to spill because, you shake it up and it spills a little bit. That's what happens. All right, man, what a night. Just an incredible night. Tigers beat the Chicago White Sox. They're going to the playoffs, and now it becomes, who will they be playing? 2 more games in the regular season, so we'll have our live Locked On Tigers postcast. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sports Detroit, because the fun is just getting started. The fun is just getting started, because the Tigers are going to the playoffs, and it'll be determined who they play. Again, all likelihood either on the road against Baltimore or in Houston, or by the craziest of scenarios, if they win the next 2, Orioles lose all 3 to the Twins, then the Tigers would be home. So Roar of 24, the Detroit Tigers, the Gritty Tigers. Congratulations. Let's continue to do this. Like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. The Tigers are going to the playoffs, and we are along for the ride. It's going to be a blast. What a blast it's already been. Tigers beat the White Sox. They're going to the playoffs. See you next time on the Locked On Tigers postcast.